Hey friends, welcome to my kitchen. During the holidays, the pressure that we all can feel to just buy tons of shit that we don't need or that nobody else in our life needs is really strong. But it's also an opportunity for us to remember that we are witches, right? And that we can brew up all kinds of delicious things. I don't know one witch who's not an amazing cook. So today I just wanted to share some of my favorite recipes that are really simple and they are kind of base recipes that you can mix and match with different herbs and fruits that you like. That you can just bottle up and give as gifts. So part of, what I want to do is like take the energy, the pressure of this year, of this time of year, and like put it into something that we can actually like continue to grow from and enjoy and put it into some skills. So we're going to be doing two potions. One is going to be our ginger snap cordial, which this year I'm going to be doing a cacao ginger snap cordial, and then a ginger cranberry vinegar. So these, you can both turn into drinks. Obviously, the cordial is going to be an alcoholic bevy, and the vinegar you can use as, something that you put on salad dressings and that kind of thing. But you can also make a shrub with it. And so that's basically adding a little sweetener to your vinegar, adding a little bit of sparkling water and some ice, and it's delicious and refreshing. So why don't we begin? So I'll just start with the cordial. So what you're gonna do is you're going to take your ginger, you're going to have all your stuff prepared here. And I'm going to show you kind of this is kitchen witching right here. So measurements are a little bit more up to you and to your taste. So it's pretty straightforward. I love a super gingery cordial. Like you get all the medicinal benefits of ginger, get that kind of like fire in the belly, really good for circulation, really good for digestion, especially when you're eating heavy foods. And it just brings that kind of like warmth, and for the holidays, like really thinking about the warmth of coming together, right? That's the spirit that we're trying to support. And so I use a shit ton of ginger. So we're just going to take some ginger. We're going to use clementine or an orange. I like adding a little bit of something sweet to my cordial as it's just already kind of macerating because it adds just more flavor dimension. Usually with cordials, you will be adding sweetener later too, and this one we're going to be using molasses as the sweetener, so it adds even more nutritional value and just that like yummy molasses flavor with the ginger. But then the orange really gives that dimension because I love orange peel in my baking, lemon peel in my baking. It just adds something that it just makes it that much more delicious and it kind of brightens the whole cordial. So we're going to be using a clementine here, and then the secret ingredient for today is cacao nibs. So it's not going to be overly chocolatey, but the cacao really adds like a rich dimension to cordials. So I love it in cordials, and it's sort of unexpected as a flavor. It's kind of like got that rich aromatic note. And you can turn up the volume on levels of each of these herbs to your taste. So first thing, you have your jar here, and you're just gonna chop up, your ginger. And remember that the more you're exposing the cell walls of your herb, the more flavor you're going to get from it, the more medicinal benefit. So initially what I do is I will chop up chop up my ginger into kind of chunkier bits here, like so. Oh, it smells so good. And fresh ginger is really nice here because you're also getting the liquid part of the ginger. So it almost adds like a frothiness and again, a sort of richness on its own to your cordial. So you're gonna give that. You're going to fill it as much as you like ginger. I'm just going to do a little bit more because I love a spicy cordial. Put that in there. I'm going to roughly chop lemon-thyme. And you can even make just a straight up like citrus cordial. You can make just a straight up ginger, but I just like the combination of these flavors. And then again, to your taste, put in some nibs. And the nibs also just they have the fat and the kind of nuttiness of cacao, but and just like a touch of bitterness that I think again it's kind of like that orange marmalade thing where it's like that bitterness just like makes all of the flavors pop. So this is what I do. I just pop that right in there. Then I get my high proof vodka. So you can use whatever high proof alcohol you have. You can use brandy. That's another common alcohol to use in cordials. It kind of depends on the level of sweetness and neutrality that you want of your alcohol to the flavors of your cordial. So what you're going to do is you're just going to cover that. And I didn't chop this super finely because from my kitchen to yours, the secret piece of equipment around here is the Vitamix, man. You just blitz it a little bit. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna add enough vodka to cover the herbs. And if you have a Vitamix or a powerful blender, you're gonna just put this in there as soon as the herbs are covered and you're gonna blitz it. And don't get it like too, like it's not a smoothie, but you want it to, again, expose as many of the cell walls as you can, especially of the orange and the ginger. And then what you do, with the powers of television right here, you get something like this. So what you'll do is when you have just the cordial that you've put into the blender and it's not all the way full. Once you have it blended, then you'll cover the rest with vodka, and then you'll let this sit. So you can let this sit for a week, for 2 weeks. You can let it sit for 3 weeks or a month. But because the flavors are so strong, you really want to watch it. I like even just a few days. The flavors are there, they're pronounced. If you let it sit longer, I mean, you totally can. It's just going to get stronger. So, to your taste again. So then you get your kind of tincture, right? Your cordial, and you can kind of see like all these yummy layers of all of the saccharides of the different herbs and the ginger in particular, and the cacao kind of sinks to the bottom. So then all you're gonna do is, ooh, it's frothy. You're just going to strain this. So what I like to do is have a Pyrex here, and you're just going to strain this sucker. Yeah, we got yum. It looks like chocolate milk. Who doesn't want boozy chocolate milk? Okay, so what I am going to do is just make sure that all of the alcohol is pushed through the macerated herbs. And all you witches out there watching this, you might think to yourself, like, ooh, what can I do with this crazy mixture left in the sieve? Like, I've done different things where I will actually just like put this in another cordial, maybe with some other herbs or some other fruits. So it's not quite as strong, but it kind of, you'll do like almost like a second steep. So, get creative or just compost it. But especially with these stronger flavored herbs, you can get a couple different extractions from the same from these same plants. So, okay. So there you go. You have your strained vodka infused with the herbs. See here? And then the secret ingredient to the ginger snap cordial is definitely molasses. So having that sweetener, so you can use honey, you can use sugar. You don't need a sweetener at all if you don't want to use a sweetener. But the molasses gives it again that like extra dimension. So you're drinking something that starts as vodka, and then by the end it's got this like it's almost like a creamy without having any cream in it, right? It has no dairy or no plant milk or anything like that, but it's got that dimension to it, thick. So I'm just gonna put maybe about half a cup, I'd say, of the molasses in here. Stir that up. And it smells amazing and it's gorgeous. So this just makes such a great present because you can bottle it. We're going to put it into a really pretty bottle and just sipping this with your friends, right? Just like having homemade potions that you can give um, as gifts to your male person or your neighbor or your bestie. It's just the best feeling. And I think that's really what we're trying to get at, right? Like when we're celebrating solstice or Christmas or Hanukkah, it's just like the togetherness, man. And so like what do we like to get together around? Food and beverages, food and beverages. Okay, so the color has really changed. It's gotten to be that kind of ginger snap molasses cookie color. And these flavors will continue to develop. So as this cordial sits on somebody's shelf, the flavors are just going to get more and more yummy. And what's great about the high proof alcohol is you don't have to refrigerate it. You can just keep it in your cabinet until it gets drunk up, which won't take that much time, I promise you. So then you take your fancy bottle, get yourself one of these, and then you simply fill her up. Those little drips are for my homies. All right. And, anytime you're pouring some spirits into a bottle, just it's an opportunity to infuse with some intention, right? Peace, joy, love, ginger snaps. Yum. Hey, there we go, right? Yum. Put the topper on that. Friends, and you're donezo. Put a little bow on there, a little sweet little card, and this is your prezi. This is your prezi for yourself or for someone that you love. So, very similar principle for the vinegar, right? So, this is great for yourself or your friends who don't mess with the alcohol, with the spirits. Again, the same sort of idea. You're using a menstruum, you're using either vodka or alcohol, or you're using vinegar. This, in this case, is going to be apple cider vinegar to extract the flavors and the medicinal benefits of these herbs. And different menstruums have different things that they're extracting, but because this is more for fun and for flavor, we get a lot of the benefits of these, especially ginger and orange and cacao, and we're also going to be introducing cranberry into this one. You're going to get the minerals, especially with vinegar, and you're going to get all of the delicious water-based flavors, and so you're really going to get the full gamut of medicinal properties, but but again, the vinegar is also really excellent for just folding those medicinal properties into your culinary world, right? Just to up your culinary game. And again, just to be able to use the vinegar for salad dressings, but the shrub idea, you can also add a little bit of vinegar to your beans, like just adding a little bit of acidity to some of our rich dishes. Just again, it like brightens up the whole dish. So get creative. The other thing that I really like to do too is, after I'm done like juicing a lemon or an orange or something like that, I have this like perpetual container of vinegar in my fridge that I just throw those rinds in. And then again, it's just developing this delicious flavor of citrus in the vinegar. So same idea, friends. We're going to take our jar and we are going to take more ginger. Chopping it up finely. And for those folks who don't have Vitamix or a powerful blender, that's totally cool. You just spend a little bit more elbow grease in chopping things finely. Um, and just to make sure that you're getting the maximum flavor. And the spice of the ginger, it could just go so well with the sourness and the tartness um, of the vinegar. And again, I'm going to be adding another mandrin, another clementine. I think this one is a mandrin to the vinegar because that it adds just a little bit of sweetness, which I think is also really complementary to um, the sourness of the vinegar. You're going to chop that right up and put it in here. And also you get a little bit of the juice. So it's going to dilute the vinegar a little bit. You're going to, when you let this, the vinegar macerate, you're going to want to put it in the fridge after about a day, especially if you live in a warm climate, because otherwise things can get a little bit funky. So then the secret ingredient, which just adds like the color and the beauty of these gorgeous, like jewel-like cranberries, native to North America, um, and just kind of quintessential sort of flavor for this time of year that we can reclaim in our potions. So adding the cranberries to this mix, and because I don't want to subject you to the bump and grind of the blender, I already got a little one already prepared right here for you all. So you can see the color of the cranberry does come through, and you're getting that astringency of the cranberry, which is really good for tissue integrity. What you're also getting from the flavonoids of the orange rind. So the orange juice is really good, has all the vitamin C, but also has the sugars in it. But the rind is really full of so many nutrients and flavonoids, which again, really good for cellular kind of integrity and membrane integrity, and helpful for the cells to rebuild. So this has got like a lot of that, belly fire boosting properties, but then that like the vitamin C, right? Who doesn't need a little bit of support with their immune system this time of year, especially if you're hanging out with like a bunch of kiddos. They're just full of immune enhancing activities, right? They really keep us on our toes. So again, we're gonna just take that and strain it. And vinegars are so fun because you can do so many different flavors with them. If you harvest blackberries or any other fruits in the summertime and you have them in your freezer, you can make delicious infused vinegars with them. Raspberry vinegar, oh my God, it's so yummy. So again, you're just simply straining this guy and making sure that you're pushing out all the goodies. Yum. And this, like, you could turn into like some flax crackers, right? Some like super powerful, super gingery flax crackers. Or you could blend it even more with some like apples and make some like fruit leathers. Dang. Okay. All right, let's strain this guy. Also, a hot tip, when you cover your herbs with vinegar, which I'll do right now, actually. You want to make sure that when you cover this back up with a lid, that the lid isn't the metal lid, because the vinegar will degrade the metal. So get yourself one of these handy dandy plastic lids. And then, one of the other things that I always say is like, make sure you write the date on there. You think you're going to remember, but you're not. You've got other stuff to think about. You're tracking lots in your life, right? So let's strain the rest of that. And I'm also going to add some molasses to this one. So apple cider vinegar is a really good conduit of minerals. It really does help to extract minerals, polysaccharides from different herbs like dandelion root and burdock is really good medium for the medicinal and nutritional benefits of those herbs. So we're just going to take a little bit less because I don't want it to be super, super sweet and overpowering, but maybe just like a good one glug, maybe 2 tablespoons total. And that's looking to be about, I would say about a cup. But again, you're going to strain as much as you need. The other thing that you can do is if you like the flavor of your cordial or your vinegar and you strain some and then you bottle it up and you have it or you give it as a gift, whatever you want to do. And then you keep some of the vinegar or some of the vodka still left and letting that kind of steep over time. And then you get to see like, oh, when I tasted it 2 weeks later, I liked it more, I liked it less. So there's definitely a learning that comes with these more experimental recipes. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Again, it has that ginger snap color, and that astringency of the cranberries is going to be really nicely balanced by that kind of like richness and spiciness of the molasses, and then with the orange in there, and then the ginger, of course, like the flavor is already going to be really complex. So a little bit of this vinegar is going to go a long way. Okay. So we have our little fancy bottle. Aren't these adorable? Oh my gosh. Okay, and then we're simply going to fill that guy. Oh my gosh, yum. Wonderful. Bam. There you go. You got yourself a little cranberry ginger vinegar to pass along to your beloveds, man. So I hope this was helpful for all of you and gave you an opportunity to hang out with yourself in your kitchen and maybe your cat and maybe your dog and maybe your family member and really just again like flexing these muscles that are old that are part of all of our ancestry. Every single one of our ancestors was making potions, was making all of these delicious culinary potions, right? So things that not only tasted delicious, but really supported the health of their bodies, their families' bodies. So with that, I hope you all have a very sunny solstice and many blessings on your worlds. Take good care.